Now, as if the BitBoy stuff couldn't get any weirder, we now have our very first leak of an actual conversation that someone has had with BitBoy after all of this trouble has unfolded, right? This Twitter account literally popped up last night, and it's only got like 250 followers at this point, and leaked a bunch of text messages between a party that is yet to be disclosed and supposedly BitBoy. So we're not 100% confirmed on this. I'm just showing you what has transpired within the past 24 to 48 hours. So take that for what it is. Now, I cannot technically say, and I don't think anybody would, right, with full certainty that this is actually BitBoy texting this person, right? These types of things can very easily be faked, okay, is my point with Photoshop skills. Nor whether this number is actually BitBoy's. I haven't called it. I'm not going to. I'm not going to sit here and meddle in other people's affairs and poke the bear, right? But what I can say is that if it is, man, this is probably going to get very ugly very quickly because it's not a good look. We'll just put it like that. And we're going to get into what that means here in just a second. So make sure you're paying attention for that. So I'm going to continue covering and reporting on this as well as it unfolds. So if you want to be up to date on it, obviously make sure that you smash the like button on this video and then subscribe to the channel. Obviously, boom, bang on the notification bell. Let me know what you think in the comments section though. Is this actually like real life? You know, like, is this actually happening? And do you think this is all some type of like fabricated smear campaign against benarmstrong, aka BitBoy Crypto? I'll kind of let you make your own inferences from here. I'll offer up a little bit of my own opinions, but I'm just going to report on what's actually happening and what's been leaked and all of those types of things. But one thing that's for sure, and I want to get into this first and foremost, I want to state this. There's two scenarios, right? By starting off with what they leaked. What they leaked first is what I mean by that. This is either literally all that they have. And the reason why I say that is because due to the nature of what they leaked, I'm not saying it's taboo, but I'm also not saying it's the right thing to do, right? So it's either that this is all they have, or they literally just started off with this because this is just the start of an absolute massacre of like epic proportions for, you know, potentially BitBoy and his brand. One thing's for sure, though. They're definitely going after his integrity. And I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. Otherwise, I don't understand why they would air something like this and talk about, you know, what we're specifically going to talk about is what they leaked. But they've also talked about, you know, substance abuse. What were the other things that they said? Verbal and physical abuse, that he's moving to Dubai to like get away from certain things and stuff like that. So one thing that I can say, when someone is trying to, the easiest way to kind of like cancel someone is to go at their credibility as a person, as a human being, not necessarily their platform, because I don't think that anybody can literally sit here and say that BitBoy hasn't done good for crypto. I think we can all agree upon that. BitBoy has been like the poster child of, I don't give a F, I'm going at whoever. Gary Gensler, he even went at Brian from Coinbase, CEO. So the easiest way to kind of put a smear campaign on somebody is to go after them personally. And that's exactly what is happening right now on this leaked video of this recorded conversation that I'm going to play. And I'm not saying that that's a good tactic. I'm saying it's a very effective tactic. The media and just the powers that be have been doing it for decades, centuries, right? What easier way to discredit somebody with everything good that they've done and everything good that they say than to refute them with saying you're a bad person, right? So I think that's what's going on here with BitBoy. I'm not saying it's right. I'm also not saying that this isn't real, right? But it's a very dirty way. So all I'm going to say is, if you're going to put accusations out like that, you better be able to back them up. And that goes for anybody, whether it's BitBoy, whether it's hitnetwork, anybody. If you're going to put out claims like this, you better be able to back that stuff up. Now, let's catch up on the situation first before we get into all the leaked stuff. But seriously, pay attention because this stuff, it's pretty wild. It kind of caught me off guard last night. I'm not going to lie. And there's very few things in this world that can catch me off guard. Hit Network came out with a statement that BitBoy had been basically removed from the company and alleged a lot of different things: substance abuse, verbal abuse of the staff, physical abuse of the staff. And there's many other allegations that they didn't necessarily make public, but there's a lot of, the rumor mill is in full swing, right? All I can say is that I really hope the Hit Network has proof of all of this stuff, because if they don't, they're probably going to be in for a world of hurt in terms of like defamation and stuff like that. So I'm not going to speculate on whether it's true or not. I'm just going to show what has happened and, what Ben has admitted to and all those types of things. But essentially, BitBoy then posted that there was a coup, and this was on the bencoin shared account, and that they were forcing him out of his own company that he owns 60% of, by the way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull up some stuff, and I'm going to show you like a really good synopsis of what has transpired. And then we're going to get into what just got leaked, because what just got leaked is absolutely wild, and you're going to want to watch this. So I'm going to pull up these screenshots really quick, and then we're going to talk about everything from there. The first thing that happened was they actually said that BitBoy was on some type of substance. Now, they didn't really specify what type of substance he was on, but they were alluding to that he was essentially relapsed and he was back on drugs. So then Ben, doing exactly what Ben should do if he has absolutely nothing to hide, smacks him with this. And this is legendary. Like, it really is. To be honest, it's absolutely legendary. But if you look at it, the results were literally 2 days ago. Benarmstrong went in, accredited drug testing company, and there was, this is signed by a doctor as well, by the way. Now, for anybody that's wondering, this is, coke, marijuana, opiates, PCP, heroin, amphetamines. He tested negative for literally all of these. All right. So, obviously he passed that with flying colors. Now, my whole point, because I would be remiss if I didn't say exactly what I said earlier, right? Because with what they're posting, these text messages and stuff in between Ben and this supposed, I don't know who this person is, right? That stuff can very easily be faked. I'm not saying that it is. I'm also not saying that BitBoy faked this drug test. What I'm saying is that it is possible that you can fabricate things like this. I don't think BitBoy is going to fabricate that. I don't think it serves him well. It'll dig him even further into a hole, especially with his own community, where he has built a reputation of honesty, right? Transparency, and just, for lack of a better word, loyalty, right? And that's what they're going at in the leaked documents, is his supposed loyalty to people. And so we're going to get into that in just a second. But here's a pretty good synopsis, to be honest with you, of like actually what has transpired like with BitBoy. Okay. And there's a reason why I want you to see this, because Mind Your Biz did a really good job of kind of like showing what had, like, just kind of summing it up, what had happened, because BitBoy did a Telegram AMA. There's two sides to every story. As mentioned yesterday, we have to see how clean the shot was from Hit Network. So the TLDR was allegations of drug relapse, which might be determined to be defamation if they can't prove that. And that's alluding to the fact that BitBoy dropped this drug test clean. Allegations of steroid use, BitBoy actually confirmed that. And then he also confirmed that multiple members of the Hit Network staff were doing steroids as well, and that he sold them to him, I believe. There's allegations of physical battery. And from what we know, from what BitBoy has said, because Hit Network is saying that they haven't brought out any evidence on this yet, but they're saying that they're probably going to be leaking these things, that those physical threats could have actually been determined to be verbal threats by BitBoy to people, because BitBoy literally told TJ that he was going to essentially beat him up for trying to take over his company. So that's kind of what that is. And then the allegations for financial damage might be determined to be gaslighting to hide the current team's misappropriation of funds for hush money to other employees. And that's alluding to when BitBoy went on this Telegram AMA and said that TJ paid somebody, I don't remember who it was, somebody at the Hit Network, there's like 40 people there, like 3 ETH to just say, like, basically be on my side. And this is what BitBoy's saying, essentially, right? Then Ben still technically owns a majority stake. Yes, he owns like 60% of it. Ben had not been informed prior to the announcements on Twitter and YouTube. And that's obviously not awesome on their end, because as a majority owner of the company, he needs to be informed of these types of decisions and he needs to be a part of them. And then in Denver, there were zero acts of impropriety or aggression. Ben maintains that TJ and Justin are attempting to stage a coup, right? The allegations of the drug relapse are in reference to prescription drugs, which Ben states are being issued under supervision of a diet clinic. And apparently these are uppers, which is consistent with the erratic behavior that he's been doing on a lot of his live streams. Now, if proven to be prescribed, it's not really drug abuse. But I don't agree with that technically, because you can still abuse prescription drugs. Unless he's taking them as prescribed, it could still be definitely, you know, prescription drug abuse. No prior contact with Ben is a power move. I would agree with that. Does this have anything to do with Dubai? It definitely could be. And there's definitely more context now. And from what basically Mind Your Business almost like trying to allude to and get out here is that BitBoy is trying to move the BitBoy brand to Dubai. And I think that TJ and HitNetwork and the owners of HitNetwork would have been potentially threatened by that, because they see their business basically leaving and they might get forced out by the majority shareholder, which is BitBoy, 60%. He is the majority shareholder. Now, let's get into the text messages and stuff like that, because this is where stuff kind of gets wild. The first question that you're probably going to ask whenever you go to this Twitter account, I'm not actually going to show the Twitter account. It's called Real Ben Stand Up. And the reason why I'm not going to show it is because there's a bunch of these weird posts on it from these random people showing these. This is like a family friendly YouTube channel, right? And there's like all these weird posts about Monero where it's like these people that have like their faces painted like yellow and blue. I don't know. It's really weird. And some of the people are naked and they're like choking people. It's some weird stuff that whoever's posting in the comments section, dude, delete it. Nobody wants to go there and see this stuff. Like, honestly, it's some kind of dark stuff and it's really weird. So I'm not going to like live stream that or like show that on video. So if you guys want to go check it out yourself, have at it. But I screenshotted this. I downloaded the recordings and I'm going to play them off of my PC, and I'm not going to screen share their Twitter feed, because there's some weird stuff in there. Now, basically, man, this hasn't all been confirmed, but this hasn't been confirmed to be true, but there's a lot of these like screenshots and stuff like that are happening right now of like these supposed text message conversations. But there is a recording of Ben talking to somebody on the phone that we're going to play in just a second. The first question that you're probably going to ask is like, who is this Cassie lady, right? And Cassie is literally the Duchess of DeFi. Okay. So I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, because yeah, this is Cassie right here. And you can go to her Twitter if you want to, and just in case you happen to give a F, right? But she is essentially the COO of bencoin. So this is supposedly like an email from her a couple of days ago. She's basically saying, things aren't going well over here. As I'm sure you're aware, we're in a bad spot. Regardless, we need to mitigate as much damage as possible, and we're going to have to explore some other options. Ben is really stressed out. They haven't mentioned it publicly yet, and our reputations have already taken a hit. We know they're holding that over our head. If he lets the company go and doesn't fight this, will TJ and Justin promise not to tell Bethany about the affair? Bethany being BitBoy's wife, okay? So essentially, what has been leaked is that BitBoy has been having an affair with this lady right here, the Duchess of DeFi. And I'm going to pull up her Twitter right now, Duchess of DeFi Twitter. And essentially, her name is Cassandra Wolf, and that's this Cassie lady, right? And I'm going to show you her Twitter profile. She's been tagged on this post, whatever. And there's a lot of these like really crazy allegations that are being said about her. So, you know, if you happen to give a F, go check it out. And, you know, then you can go to Real Ben, Please Stand Up. And, you know, that'll be that. But essentially, the post literally says Ben Armstrong is actively having an affair with @Duchess of DeFi, the COO of Join Bencoin, and they're alleging that she is a satanic cult follower. This is, and then they're saying that this is the tip of the iceberg, and more evidence of despicable acts are to follow, and that their DMs are open. Okay, here's the thing. This Cassandra Wolf, and she is the COO of Bencoin. We know that. And it has been speculated, and there's like these rumors surfacing from behind the scenes that she's been being paid under the table like $12,000 a week. And apparently that's at Ben's direction. That's not confirmed. So if anybody can confirm that, cool. But I cannot confirm that. So I'm not going to say that that's facts. I'm just going to say that that's what a lot of people are saying. And that's that. So I'm just reporting what's happening behind the scenes from, you know, credible people that clearly can't be named at this point. But until that actually gets proven, which it's the blockchain, so the burden of proof should be on whoever's accusing of that. I'm not going to put too much weight on that. Now, in these text messages that you can see that I'm about to pop up on the screen, it seems that Ben has some type of deal with whoever this person is in the background. And if they, you know, if they are to leak any of this information, that their deal is off. But then the person who we don't know who it is yet has confirmed that they indeed do not have a deal right now. And it seems that whatever deal that they had is definitely off at this point, because now they're leaking the conversations. But it seems that there are some messages from August 22nd where they're talking about this Cassie lady, and that's the COO, Duchess of DeFi, of Bencoin, and someone is helping BitBoy to get her understand and be sensible about his situation at home. And again, all these text messages have been shared on this Twitter profile, the Real Ben Stand-Up. They even go as far to explain that the BitBoy show grew big off of the Sunday morning drive to church with his family, and that's what his community knows, and that this could be something that absolutely, in my opinion, ruins his career with his community, or his reputation at the very least, because it shows that he's, you know, not necessarily preaching what he's actually doing, right? He preaches loyalty, but then if he's having an affair in the background, he's not loyal to his family. So where does that put everybody else? But for whatever reason, they're trying to tell this Cassie lady that she is a part of his extended family. And my guess is she's not going to be too happy about, you know, all of this whenever she sees all of this. Now, if you read the tweet, they're alleging that Ben is, you know, actively having an affair with her. And then they posted an actual video of a recorded phone conversation. Now, these are the types of things that, I don't know, man. They even tagged CoffeeZilla in this. So this could have a pretty far-reaching effect. So if you want to see more WikiLeaks, like as they happen, obviously subscribe to my channel, because I'll be keeping up with this, because this is a huge deal in crypto right now, because BitBoy was literally one of the like largest figures and most polarizing figures at that. And I think we can all agree on that. And he's done a lot of good inside of crypto for the crypto community. And he built one of the biggest crypto communities there is out there. And BitBoy has been a huge deal, or Bitcoin has been a huge deal as of late. So if all of this is true, and this continues to get uglier and uglier, yeah, like by the day, then I would see crypto potentially taking a hit, because these are the types of things. I'm not saying that he's going to affect the price of Bitcoin. I'm saying he's going to affect the overarching like reputation of crypto, or he could, right? Now, if these things are true, this is not a good, this is really bad. Okay. These are the types of things that can literally set an entire crypto community back by like a lot. And I mean like eons, because it shows the potential unprofessionalism that happens inside of this space and our market, and that's just not good. It's not a good look for crypto right now. Like all this like kind of like drama stuff. You don't necessarily see this in the traditional financial markets and stuff like that. So it's like, we're kind of like I don't know. It's almost like becoming the laughing stock of the financial markets, right? So let's listen to what they're saying is only the tip of the iceberg, which is essentially what they're quoting to be their smoking gun, a recorded conversation between BitBoy and an individual from Georgia that apparently has ties to him, some of his business partners and projects that they're involved in. The weird part about this is that whenever he's talking to Ben and he tells him that he wasn't willing to step away from Cassie for like 30 days, Ben didn't really have any rebuttals to this. And yeah, let's just play the video, man, because this is, it's like I said, it's really weird, but I also I've bleeped out everything that's like curse words and stuff like that, because there's a lot said in this.
You never said, oh, let me step. Listen what I'm saying. You never say, let me step back away from Cassie for 30 days. Let me stop taking drugs. Let me see how my personality is, and let me see how that changes. You never even willing to say it might be this, it might be that. You're not even open to nothing. Ben, I have talked to your uncle for hours, man. Your uncle feel the same way I feel. The whole thing.
Now, the first thing that I thought was weird is that whenever he was talking to him and admitting, and like, he basically tells him that he wasn't willing to step away from Cassie and, you know, or drugs or whatever he said, Ben was like dead silent and had literally nothing to say. And then the only thing that he had to say after that was when he was prompted, the guy was like, Ben, and this all happening because they wanted, and basically BitBoy saying this was all happening because they wanted to get rid of Cassie, which, you know, okay, whatever. So let's continue playing the clip. This is only, it's only about 4 minutes.
Ben, when I watch this show, you know what you said to me, bro? You say, I'm going to morning drives to the church and everything else. Then you tell the people you don't even believe in God no more, bro. That I text you that, and you didn't answer me. I said, bro, what did this tell? I didn't sign up for that. You didn't even answer me back.
Much longer time than the second Cassie. You know?
Why? Man? How you question that, man? How can you question God?
It's okay. Let people go through stuff. Moments where they
and friends, we willing to help you go through it, but you gotta work with people, Ben. Yeah.
So then, man, this is, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, but BitBoy basically is admitting that, you know, he's been questioning God. That's like one of the things that he built his entire platform off of, at least for the most part, was like God family. Remember those Sunday church drives, right? The live streams. And then whoever this caller was actually trying to attribute this to the Cassie lady. But Ben is basically saying that he was questioning God before he ever met her. And then he's essentially, you know, talking to Ben saying, hey man, if you're struggling with your faith, then, you know, lean on people around you. And you could have leaned on and talked about it, you know, and said those things, but you know, you didn't. And so I think he's kind of, it's almost like gaslighting BitBoy on that.
But Ben, let me ask you a question. Ben, how did that look when you on the, just think about it, you're on the live stream, you say the only default that you have is you've been loyal to everybody. Hold up, let me just let you listen how this sound. The only default you have is you've been loyal to everybody. All right, you default by loyalty, right? But then if you chose your community that you cheated on your wife, then they discredit everything you said about everybody. That's why I didn't put that out, because you will look like a fool. If you would go against your family, you'll go against your friends. They don't have a chance. And nobody wants to destroy you like that. These guys want to work with you.
They want to destroy me.
No, they didn't, man. No, why would they want to destroy everything they do?
Because they're jealous. And they're trying to keep me under their thumb.
If you don't want to leave your family, but you want to stay with another woman, that rips your family apart, man. It's not even making sense. Come on.
So this is where it takes a really hard turn. And I'm not going to sit here and like act like I'm on some ivory throne. I don't think anybody can do that, because at the end of the day, everybody's made mistakes. I don't care who you are. Literally everyone has made mistakes in this life. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't made mistakes. BitBoy's made mistakes. Whoever this caller is, he's made mistakes too. Guarantee you, you know, everybody that's involved. But here's the thing. He basically admits, you know, on this phone call, and this is crazy to bring people's families into this. And I think it's wild that this is the first thing that they're bringing out about him. This starts going back to the thing that I said first, which is this is either the only thing that they have on him, or this is just like the tip of the iceberg to discredit him right off of the bat so that you believe everything else that comes next, right? So read into that for whatever it is. But everyone's made mistakes, okay? Now, everybody, I'm not going to sit here and judge anybody. Would I do that? Would I find myself in that position? Would I put myself or my family in that position? No, I know for a 100% fact that I wouldn't, but that doesn't mean that other people don't have their own struggles. I have my own struggles. Ben has his own struggles. Whoever this caller is, whoever's watching this video, we all have our own struggles. We all have our own demons that we have to fight on a day-to-day basis. Now, does that make anything right? No. But what I'm saying is that we all bleed blood. No one's infallible and everyone is human at the end of the day. But I do think that this caller made a pretty good point about Ben saying that he's loyal to everyone. And, you know, Ben saying that he stabbed his wife in the back, but his business, his family, his community, like that's who he's loyal to. Because his point was that if you would step out on your own family, right? Like your wife, the person that you chose to be with for the rest of your life, that you took vows for, that you're supposed to be the most loyal to, who is supposed to be the closest person to you and most near and dear to your heart, then what makes anyone think that you won't stab your friends, your business partners, your community in the back by acting out at the office of HitNetwork or dumping tokens on bencoin or just whatever it may be? Like, I know there's allegations of embezzlement and all these different things. So it's almost seeming like they're starting to frame this to make people like almost desensitized to it, to discredit BitBoy, so that whenever they come out with whatever they're going to come out with next, that people believe it easier because they're, you know, basically controlling the rhetoric to do so. Then the recording basically abruptly ends and BitBoy says he doesn't want to do slave labor at his own company. I don't understand how he's doing slave labor at his own company when he's the 60% holder in his company, but you know, whatever. Now, unfortunately, that's what happens when you get involved with other people and you start to run a business that grows substantially and quickly, like BitBoy and HitNetwork did, right? You have to act accordingly and get with the times. He's not like a 5K YouTuber that can just say whatever he wants, whenever he wants now, and act however he wants, because his platform holds a lot of weight. So it's like, it comes back to that like heavy lies the crown mentality, and he has a reputation to uphold. And then the underlying fact of that is that there's over 40 people that work for him and HitNetwork that are depending on that business to provide for their family. So like, again, I'm not going to sit here and choose sides. I'm not going to, you know, I understand it from a fundamental perspective from both sides of the coin. And I think it's pretty easy to infer what's going on here if you know, listen to what's being said and you look at what's being dropped. Like, go check out, and I'm going to flash up all of these, whatever they are, like screenshots. And I don't want to cover them too much because they can be faked. I'm just going to be honest. So I don't want to give them too much weight, but essentially what happened in those screenshots is this guy told BitBoy's wife, texted his wife and told him that, and we're going to show the recording that basically confirms this. He texted BitBoy's wife and told her about the affair. Then he also was trying to like play mitigation in between Cassie, BitBoy, and his wife, and you know, the community and stuff like that. So anyways, let's play the rest of this really quick.
Oh man, you have to make a choice, man. You really lose your family and your kids, man. The person you tell bragging me about to go to the games with your kids, your daughter, man. I've seen this. Your wife is the sweetest person in the world. I told him on the phone, man. It hurted me to send that text message, man.
But you still said you heard it.
What do you want me to do? Ben, my family heard the
She's still going to sign with me.
I understand that. No, guess what? I'm not miscalculating that. That was just for you and her to get it, to understand where it can go. Okay? I'm looking for my woman to stand by me too. I think woman stands by them. I told you the same thing. But at the end of the day, we have people livelihoods we playing with right now.
You do the same thing I do. If he did nothing,
hold on. What you mean? Hold on. What you mean? Hold on. What you mean? Ben, what you mean I do the same thing you do? Well, tell me that. What you mean? No, I didn't say I cheated on my wife. I didn't tell you that. No. I say I done cheated on my. I don't cheat on my. I'm not with baby mama no more. I'm with a woman that don't have a child from me right now. I say I've cheated before. I explained to you that before. Yeah. All right. I'm not cheating. No, it's not the point about this. I don't care about your personal life, Ben. What I care about right now is my kids' life, the livelihood of people. They got people right here. I don't care about your personal life, Ben.
So there's a lot to unpack there too, because it's basically an admission of BitBoy saying, hey, you know, like I cheated on my wife by telling this dude, hey, you do the exact same thing that I did. And then, you know, they sat there and tried to vie for who gets to talk next for like 80 seconds. And then finally he says, hey, what are you talking about? What do you mean I do the same thing you do? And Ben says, well, you cheated on your wife, alluding to the fact that he's saying I cheated on my wife and you do that too. So anyways, my whole point to this is, man, like, this is like a really dirty thing to like put out there. It's not really, it almost makes me think that they're trying to just discredit BitBoy as a human being, as a person. And that way they can come with the next allegations that, you know, they've been saying in the background, like the 700K, you know, gambling loss, and that he's a gambling addict and that he was embezzling funds and, you know, drug abuse. So like what types of drugs, and, you know, that all this verbal and physical abuse, and Dubai is, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, apparently, you know, the affair. So like the fact that they dropped this first almost makes me think that that's kind of the trajectory that this is going to go on, is they're trying to discredit him as a human being. And then it's much easier for people to believe those things that they come up with next after the fact. And I'm not saying that BitBoy's right. I'm not saying that BitBoy's wrong. I'm not saying HitNetwork's right. I'm not saying HitNetwork's wrong. But what I am saying is that this is going to be a very bloody and just wild thing for people to, you know, be doing and have to be involved in. And it's honestly, it's not going to help the cryptocurrency community as a whole right now, because there's already enough war being waged in crypto just by governments, the SEC, rug pulls, scammers, people like that. And it's like, you have to add another thing to the plate. But, you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to keep up to date on this, because I think this is going to really affect the cryptocurrency markets and obviously the communities inside of cryptocurrency, because Ben has one of the largest communities. And if he, you know, does indeed be proven to have done all of these things, then I don't think it is a good look for the cryptocurrency market as a whole. But if he didn't do any of these things, then obviously HitNetwork has some things that they're going to have to answer to as well. So with that being said, everybody make your own inferences from there. Go and check it out on Twitter if you feel like you want to. And it's got all of the screenshotted text messages and stuff like that. And if you can go out and find somebody that can verify whether these things were photoshopped or not, that would be great, right? If we could get somebody to verify the authenticity of all of these things, that would be wonderful. Because if there's one thing that I will not do, I will not jump the gun and say, oh, this is fact. We don't know any of this is fact. But what we do know is that this recording was dropped and BitBoy admitted to some weird stuff on that recording, and then on the AMA with like the steroid use and the prescription diet pills and stuff like that. Because I do want to touch on that really quick. Those diet pills, they're called phentermine or something like that. Look, even prescription drugs. Okay, this is how, like, this is, I'm not saying that BitBoy's doing this, but what I'm saying is that this can happen. Okay, this is how, you know, this is what happens with addicts. I'm not saying that BitBoy is this, but used in the wrong manner for an extended period of time, any prescription drug can become like most of these are controlled substances. If you have to get it prescribed, it's likely it's a controlled substance. But phentermine, specifically used in the improper manner, if you're not taking it as prescribed and directed, that could be potentially construed as substance abuse. And for this, it can cause manic traits, potential psychosis, delirium, panic, heart failure, lots of things. Talk to any doctor. They'll gladly back that up. So just take that into account, right? Because if you're not taking your prescription drugs in the manner that they are prescribed, then yeah, you could absolutely be abusing them. I'm not saying that BitBoy's doing it. What I'm saying is it is a possibility that could happen. right? And it happens every day. There is like this opioid crisis and this amphetamine crisis in the United States and worldwide, period. So is it possible? Absolutely. You guys make your own inferences from here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Obviously, like the video if you appreciate me reporting on content like this. I'm trying to break it as fast as possible. Obviously, I run a couple of businesses, wolferfinance, PreSend. I'm the CEO of both of those companies, so I can only do so much. But at the end of the day, make sure you're subscribing to the channel, because 65% of you that watch my videos, I know the analytics behind it, you don't subscribe to my channel. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the men and women that show up, because we know that at least 15% of the viewers are our queens in the world. So we appreciate the women that show up as well. We will see you in the next video. Have a great day, everyone.